Myself and Jack Nazareth, together with our support team, are undertaking a circumnavigation of the planet Hurston on Dragonflies. After circumnavigating Microtech last year, a follow-up expedition had been in the planning for some time. Hurston is a far more challenging environment than Microtech though, and Dragonfly performance has taken a significant degradation since last year. The route we've chosen this time is a polar route to try and visit as many Hurston biomes as possible on the trip. And so far in this series, we've made our way out of Lowville and pushed southeast a little over 1,000 kilometers, crossing the equator and reaching HDS of Hendrix, the second stop of the journey. The next major milestone would be the South Pole, but before that we were taking a 700 kilometer east-southeastward trek to HDMS Hadley in stage 3, and should we make it, this would be our first stop at a mining outpost for the trip so far. This leg was admittedly to be one of the least eventful. We knew going in that the terrain would be largely open desert, but we'd still learn a lot, and by now on day 3 of the journey, we're into a good rhythm of riding the terrain. Would we fare better than the 10 bikes lost in stage 2? Well, time would tell, but we were well motivated to set out for the first true checkpoint of this expedition. Yellow desert, then into purple desert, then into red desert, and then into strip mines.
These strip mines will be within 40 clicks of here.
Okay. How dangerous would you say?
If you've got someone out front, you'll have to go around.
Okay.
Carrick's on side. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
5 seconds. Hold on a second. I lied. Let me start my camera.
Leg 3. We're underway.
I almost rode right up your back.
Now, setting out from HDS of Hendrix, we'd initially be travelling through comfortable yellow desert.
Now this is progress.
But just as Fingers had advised, it wasn't long before hints of red desert were visible on the ground.
There's a red desert path between these mountains, right? Yeah.
Red desert, which is a lot harder to read, that's for sure. The patchy mismatch of yellow desert would carry on for quite some time, offering some mild respite from the much more obstacle-filled red desert common on Hurston, and by day 3 we were getting to know the hazards of the biomes much better.
Have you started noticing all the patterns of the trees? You begin to recognize individual trees now, after you pass about a couple hundred times.
We mentioned the upright missile tree named by Fingers in the last video. Well, another that we come to name are the fallen brown tree trunks that also made an appearance on Microtech. We would call them snaggle trees on this trip.
The trees that lay on the ground with the limbs that stick up and can snag you, they blend in pretty well to this red stuff.
Yes, yeah. On Microtech, they were single-handedly the most dangerous thing.
Alright, Jack, there's a way through here.
I'm basically keeping you right above my head.
But up ahead, we'd be treated to a new feature of the terrain, and at first sight, it was quite strange.
What's all this green stuff on the ground? What's that?
Green stuff on the ground.
It's like moss-ish. It's not like...
We've got poles, Katie.
Oh no. Oh, this is where you want to go real slow then, because those poles, they can be real tricky to spot.
Oh yeah.
The poles we mentioned are, I think, some kind of light that is common in the construction yard biome, but here they were joined by large systems of toxic looking cracks.
Once you buy carefully, it opens up the Jurassic way again.
Yep, that might make a difference.
The poles slow progress because they're difficult to spot at speed before it is too late. We'd have to take this patch carefully, but fortunately it wouldn't last all that long. Weird though, isn't it? Like, it's like green, little pits of green. On setting out, I thought that the poles would be the most dangerous obstacle that we'd face here on Hurston, but they are actually not all that common, not on the route that we chose anyway. We'd see more in this stage, but for now it was back into red desert as Fingers marked the way forward.
I'm right in the shadow of the Carrick. I'm about to catch the shadow.
Racing with a Carrick.
On stage 2 we destroyed 10 bikes, but where we'd had nothing but bad luck for day 2, day 3 was actually going to be the opposite, with a lot of lucky breaks. Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
I gotta stop. That was digging. I haven't had a dig-in on this trip yet.
That's gonna give me a chance to check my components real quick.
Retros are good. Grab another one I've lost. Green. Wow.
I have a red seat. Let me see if I can repair it.
I'm amazed that the bike is in as good condition as it is after that. That was a big impact. As the sun began to set, another would follow, and this time it was a pole. Grab pole. Yeah, pole. It came out of nowhere. I think I'm still green. Bike's still green, and the brakes still work. So the two things that matter most are okay. I'm gonna think happy thoughts and not think about what else could be damaged. We had a mountain range to cross before hundreds of kilometers of flat desert, and the gullies here were all poles.
I don't know if there are poles on the red terrain to your left, but they seem to be replaced with boulders.
Okay.
There's some on the margin.
Climbing to the hilltops was much clearer. And as we set out along one of the many high plateaus of this range, Jack would lose the first bike of the day. That was close. That was too close in fact.
Oh, I am dead.
Oh no!
I got that one on.
I guess I bottomed out. It didn't look too bad, but I was in third person.
I'm gonna hold up here. Jack was getting dropped back to the ground, and it would be a good opportunity to grab a fresh bike from Artax for myself as well.
Jack's cleared the ramp.
Okay. I am gonna sort this out. Artax. Thank you, Artax. Nice fresh bike.
Caught behind Venetian blinds, out of reach for the city lights.
For the rest of the night, we'd be crossing more jagged mountains. The black rocks that we'd encountered in stage 2 posed some threat, but we took things slowly and pushed on steadily, eventually reaching the steady descent into the desert below.
I've been running east, looking for a sunset, digging deep since '99.
This is the big valley.
The stretch ahead was what Fingers called the valley, several hundred kilometers of endless flat desert. There would be obstacles to climb, of course, but it meant that we could hopefully make great time.
Wow, it is flat as far as the eye can see.
I mean, it's like generally flat, but at the smaller scale, it's very bumpy.
Lots of undulations, lots of big trees and rocks. You just gotta completely juke and jink around constantly.
Still, riding east has its benefits, with the sunrise directly ahead of us this time.
Don't look before you leave. What you give, you get to keep. So long, farewell, bye-bye.
Oh, that is such a pretty sight.
Let's have a toast for those lost old eyes. And my crooked little heart that seems so rebellious is falling apart right now. I'm bleeding an easy kill, gonna leave it all behind.
You getting desync close either?
Oh, uh-oh.
Ooh, I saw your marker jiggle on that.
That was a pretty rough one.
Bike is still green. That's frozen. No damage. God, that was lucky.
It's weird how it like you think it's gonna just break something in half and then you're still all green.
I actually thought it was going to explode in that one. I'm not sure why we'd be having such good luck, but up ahead were forests of missile trees. Always a chance for things to go wrong. They started out pretty sparse, but as the morning pressed on, they thickened up considerably. And I was about to get a lot closer than I'd like. Oh. Ooh. I'm actually stuck in the tree.
Really? You're in the tree.
See if I can get out without dying.
Wash.
Okay, I think I'm out. But damage had been done this time.
On your right.
Yeah, just scoot past me.
I saw that bunch of trees you decided to jump right off.
Okay, I've got no retros. But this trade isn't too bad. I should be able to continue on, I think. The damage was much worse than just losing my retro thrusters, however, as I'd slowly come to realise.
This is an awful
Oh my god,
long
oh my
valley.
god, okay, no. I had lost all manoeuvring thrusters as well, so while I could rotate the bike, I couldn't change its course. Oh god.
No, brake.
Turn!
Okay, I need a new bike because I have no retros. I have no manoeuvring thrusters, so I can't turn or translate.
Oh no!
I had like no steering or brakes.
It's funny because I've been there before.
Now I am counting this bike as destroyed because there was no way of recovering it. A lot of abandoned bikes go for repair after we swap out, but not today.
Thank you, Attack.
The delays had set me back a long way, and so I would take a big risk opening up the throttle all the way to play catch up. I'm pushing 180 right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Those look like
I'm
you like.
20 kilometers behind, so I'm like, I gotta make up some distance.
I'll take a pause and wait for you.
The problem with opening up the throttle like this is that it is exhilarating, and even though I should have slowed down, well, I just couldn't help myself. I shouldn't be too long. If I don't die.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
Oh, there it goes.
To be fair, going 180, I made it pretty far. Like, I made it further than I would have expected. By the time the sun was setting, we'd closed the distance down to just 200 kilometers from Hadley, and as far as we knew, there was nothing particularly challenging coming up either. But the game always has other ways to significantly slow your progress. We're at 200, that's amazing.
Well, that's really weird. You're just kind of floating up for me now, right, Jack?
What is our heading? Ooh. Now we did
there
the
it is.
No worries.
We only lost, what, half an hour?
Should be alright.
Fingers in position.
Good work, fingers. Okay. You ready, Jack?
For something that matters to me. You do not know what I have in mind. I packed our bags, we'll be on our way. The night was long as I waited without a sign. A sign of what matters.
Entering the final mountain range, we'd be treated to some very fun and scenic canyons and gullies.
And I don't know if anybody else have noticed this, but the sun is bright.
Oh, yeah. This is actually a really cool little valley.
It is.
It's like
If I can
Mars.
see it. My retina's burned away now, but it's awesome.
Dangerous still, but, you know, really pretty. As well as being dangerous. Progress was very fast along this entire stage, and regular updates from Fingers kept us motivated.
My position, 84 clicks.
When you're below 100 kilometers, like it's so close, you can taste
I
it.
feel like I did last night, and part of me wanted to race as fast as I could, and the other
Yeah.
part was terrified I could die right before the finish line, you know?
The mountains were slowly coming to an end though, and again, after travelling a high plateau, we'd next have to make an extremely long and steady descent back down to the desert.
But what do you want? What's your biggest need? Every hour we spend together, then suddenly the chances are small, just like the lottery.
Below us was the final stretch of desert, but getting there was an enormously long descent that seemed to stretch on forever. We're still going, this is amazing. We're still going downhill. Did you say that was like a high plateau that kind of gently rides
High
down?
chaparral.
That was very cool. Like
We
that
climbed
was
up slow and then arched over the top very shallow and then
our first mining outpost as well. I always think of the mining outposts as like the proper checkpoints, like
Yep.
civilization.
They have cleaner bathrooms and security stations.
Now at this moment Jack was out in the lead and was about to encounter a form of desync that would definitely get our heart rates up under the wrong circumstances.
Back on the flats again. It looks like what? Oh God!
Whoa.
Oh, wait till you see that in the film. An entire bank of trees just spawned right in front of me, and I avoided it.
Desync speeds.
Yeah.
Careful, careful.
Yeah, right.
And I would encounter the same phenomena.
Almost there, almost there.
Almost there.
Oh my god,
Right.
that happened to me as well.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't close enough to anything to hit anything, but like they just popped into existence.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
comment on how smooth it was, and then it all popped in. So, yeah.
As we closed in on Hadley, Jack and I would reunite.
Oh, hey, you're converging on each other. Nice, very nice.
Oh, you had to pass me, smarty pants.
Let's slow down a bit. Maybe we can ride side by side for a bit. Just a few kilometers of red desert remained, and pretty soon we could make out our attacks in the respawn carrack, making the landing at Hadley up ahead.
So Lorville is 1,500 kilometers straight through the planet.
Congrats, guys, you made it.
Did it!
Woohoo!
Stage 3 complete.
Oh, that was cool.
That. Stage 3 was complete.
Awesome. I wonder where we can pick our vehicles up when we start again.
Wait, you're not planning to go to
Like
Lorville?
Great flying, guys.
Yeah, good work team.
That last little stretch right there, you guys.
Now, the following day, and prepping for stage 4, we'd have our first encounter with another player, and it was to be quite strange. We were going through the motions of loading up our spare bikes in the carrack for the day. By the 4th day we had a good routine going, and everybody knew how to get this done quite quickly. But another player had been loading vehicles onto their own ship on the pad, and suddenly decided to get a little curious with a ballista.
The ascent is tricky.
He's driving right up to the carrack. He's trying to load. Is he trying to load the thing on your carrack?
You might want to close the front ramp of the carrack.
Yeah, it's closing. He is now. What the hell is this dude doing?
Somehow this player had jammed the ballista into the cargo bay, possibly causing untold damage to the ship and the bikes that we had loaded. Well, he can come with us. Well, actually he can't because he'd end up killing someone. But Star Citizen's physics would take over and eject the ballista to the roof of the carrack. But how much damage do you think we did to the Dragonflies?
A lot.
Maybe tip him off the top if you can get back in. I don't know if you can. Oh, he's driving off. Close the ramp. He'd make another attempt to gain entry, but this time Trenic was ready to push back.
It's, yep, be gentle about it though, because you're gonna crush out.
Oh, there he goes.
He's dead. Wow.
The ballista had probably damaged all of the bikes we'd loaded though, and so while we made the choice to set out on stage 4 before the Mischief Maker player returned for his ship, Artax and Trenic would have to make arrangements for any damaged bikes to be repaired or replaced. Day 3 had been a much smoother run than the previous 2, and now we'd be heading straight to the South Pole. The actual destination was HDSF Rufus, another bunker, but its proximity to the South Pole meant that we could head straight south for the majority of this stage. Stage 4 would prove to be extremely difficult though, with a rough mix of terrain and the daylight becoming ever rarer as we entered the always nighttime South Pole region. For me personally, this was the most difficult stage of the trip, though the team would argue that some of the later stages were much harder. How much of a cost would it take? Join us next time to find out. In the last video, we ran a giveaway for a Star Citizen game package, complete with RSI Aurora MR and lifetime insurance. While I am very pleased to announce we have a winner for this prize, with the comment you see on screen right now, RatBoyXL is today's winner. Congratulations to you, Ratboy. I have left a reply on your comment explaining the next step in claiming your prize. And of course, I want to thank CIG for sending this prize our way. As always, I want to thank all of you at home for watching, and all of our amazing patrons who you can see on screen right now. Without these very generous people, none of the videos here on the channel would be possible, because patron support is what allows me the time it takes to edit these videos together, and I am enormously grateful to each and every one of you for helping me to keep the channel going. We'll be back with more from Circumnavigating Hurston very soon.